Hey everybody, it's Bust, continuing our playthrough of the Path of Champions. Today, we're going to be doing battle on the 3.5-star quest, the Colossus, doing battle up against Galio, and we're going to be playing with Darius today. And so, before we dive in, let's get our Darius pulled up. We have the 3-star Darius here, so our star powers are looking pretty good. If you're not familiar with them, at the beginning of each round, the first unit that you play gets +4 attack and overwhelm. You get the +1 starting mana, and then each round, the first time you attack with 15 or more power, you get a rally. So you're basically coming out, trying to set up a big collection of attacks to where you kill your opponent on the second one, ideally with a bunch of overwhelms. And so what you typically see is you'll attack with like 4 or 5 units. Your opponent kills like 2 or 3 of them. You kill all of their units in the combat and deal a little bit of overwhelm damage. And then the second attack with the rally is typically enough to close out the game. And so, in terms of our champion level, up to level 11, not that bad, not that good, but it does get us up to a rare starting relic. And when it comes to Darius, his big problem is mana. He doesn't do a whole lot. His interactivity is bad. His curve is bad. His cards themselves, pretty bad. And so, it can be a bit to overcome. And when you start to get to these turns to where you play Darius and Stalker's Blade down a unit and get to attack twice, you can probably win the game, but he has to have some really big impact when he hits. And so I either like things that regenerate your spell mana or things that will strike the opposing units. We're going with the strikes here. And so that is our Darius. Let's go ahead, jump on into the adventure, see if we can't take down Galio. All right, the adventure loads. What up, Zoe? And Galio. Sure, so let's see. What do we got here? Get ourselves a good starting power. And these, not that great. I can sometimes see an argument to wanting to pick up Vanguard Lookout, just again, because like everything about this deck is pretty bad. In my terms with Darius, his powers are extremely strong, or I should say his star powers with the bonus stats when you play a unit and then the rallies. But his cards are all like non-interactive. They're pretty mediocre. His only removal spell costs like 4 mana. I guess you can call Death's Hand a removal spell, but as we're running through the Galio rounds, it just doesn't really kill anything. And then we're playing an expensive champion, and so in most strategies where you want to stack a champion, stacking Darius isn't really that great. And so I can kind of see an argument for picking up a card like Vanguard Lookout, since it just gives you a little bit of time to get your board built up. But in general, this is a fairly weak one when we don't have any additional combos with it. I think I'm okay with just going for it here. If you're going for like a speed run or a power run or a big LOL, look at this highlight reel I put together kind of run, Vanguard Lookout wouldn't do it. But if you're just looking to finish off the quest, knowing that we can survive the early game just a little bit and build up our board to these big, high-powered attackers, low-toughness units, we can probably craft a deck around it and be okay. And so we'll stick with it. We'll give it a go, see if we can't take down the Dauntless Vanguards here. And so here at the round end, if one of the foe's units died, the foe summons a Dauntless Vanguard. And so this is the like kind of exact situation to where I think the lookouts can be good. We don't want to be playing a unit and just trading, right? That's not a very high-powered or strong strategy for us to pursue, because our opponent is just going to get a replacement unit, and we are not. And so with the lookouts on the board, hopefully they can come down and just block for a little bit. We can play a 2-drop into a 3-drop into a 4-drop or something, and then, oh shit, I didn't realize this guy was just going to start with the stats. Oh, that's something we're gonna have to remember. That makes this a little bit better. I didn't realize. Like I was getting all lined up and ready to go to drop our Crimson Disciple, and now that I realize it doesn't, the Disciple's not going to get the stats. That's a little bit different. But okay, I guess you live and you learn. Live, laugh, love. Right? That's what you do. Live, laugh, live, laugh, love, live, love. You visit the Target and get your little signs. Oh, what's the other one? Eat, pray, love. Is that's a different one? All right. Opponent's gonna be losing a unit here, so we can safely take down the Vanguard Defender. I don't know why that's so hard to say. Live, comma, laugh, comma, love. Is that even the right order? When was the last time you even went to Target, friend? All right, we'll get back to the battle here. We'll quit saying the rando. Get out of here, cat. The rando sayings. Jump into battle. We got a cat out here as well. We can get him ready to hang out if anybody wants to see. Say what up, kitty. He looks a little upset, but he must not be having an exciting day in the kitty land. I'm gonna keep chewing on my cords though. We gotta get rid of him. All right. Back to the action. I assure you. We're into battles now.
I'm actually here.
All right. This is kind of the downside to this deck is we have trouble killing this stuff, right? Death's Hand quickly gets outclassed because of the Galio ability that gives you health at round start. And then even if we want to just say like play Legion Grenadier, it trades with his 1-drop or dies to the Vanguard for damage. And so it's kind of awkward. It's against why I wanted to pick up these lookouts. But I think we're in a decent enough spot here. I'm kind of leaning to go with the Grenadier and then drop the Death's Hand onto the Cythria. We should find decent spots to drop this Death's Hand if that's the route we want to go, because the only other card that would be dropping on us would be like an Inspired Light. But if we get the chance to play another unit, let's just add the other unit. I'll go ahead and stun as Ephemeral. Keep it from attacking. Now the rest of our blocks feel a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and just prevent the damage so we don't have to deal with that. Kill them where we can. Then we should be good to win on this open attack. Or at least be pretty close to it. Oh, Darius. Okay. That's one way to do it. Well, a little worse, but I think this big stat Darius is going to be more than enough to end the game. Rip him. Noxus is proud. We have done well. Good job, Darius. Okay, so what do we got here? Not a super compelling collection of cards. I'm mainly interested in this Disintegrate, right? It's not the highest powered removal, but our deck sucks, right? I don't want to be playing Bloody Business. It's so expensive. Death's Hand gets to the point to where it's not able to actually kill anything, and so I'd be pretty okay with our removal spell of choice being Disintegrate, and I think that's what we're going to look to pick up here. It's like Blighted Caretaker is pretty off theme of what we're trying to do, right? We want to just play one unit every turn so it gets all the stats, and Blighted Caretaker doesn't play to that theme. And the Twin Blade Revenant, it takes a lot to build around. We don't have any discard synergies yet, and so I'm not super interested in it. Let's go with the Disintegrate, and then we can kind of keep in mind as we get up here to this healer before Zoe, we might be able to take the removal spells out of our deck. All right, then same kind of deal here with our champions. We're just looking for stuff that's cheap. All of our cards tend to be good enough, but we want to get to the point to where we can play a unit and a spell, or we can play an expensive unit, right? That's the kind of two things that we're looking to do. And the expensive unit part tends to be covered, right? We're already playing Darius, and so we need to make sure that we just get the cheap plays so that we can continue with a good curve, or so, say like we play a 1-drop on turn 1 and then a 2-drop on turn 2, and then we get to bank 2 mana along the way, and now it's like we have Disintegrate mana and we can start playing on curve the rest of the way. And so I really like the idea of picking up Rivens here. She's just going to be pretty on point and on theme with what we're trying to pull off. What's her thing though? Regeneration? Sure. The other thing with Riven is she gives us a very good champion to stack. You typically want to be stacking champions and taking all the champion item chests that you can get, but you don't want to be playing 7 Dariuses in your deck. And so picking up Riven as a 3-cost champion, she's a very easy one to stack up on. All right, now we can either go towards the gold chest or we can go towards the Laurent Bladekeeper. With the Laurent Bladekeeper, I already have him pulled up on the site. He adds a weapon to your deck with a random rare item attached to it. So you can pick up like Riven Swords and the the Bandle City 1-cost guy that makes a spear or a shield. You can pick up those things. They have items attached to it. And I'm pretty interested with that. I'm not entirely certain what happens if you pick a Riven and then you get a Riven sword off the Laurent Bladekeeper. How does she work? I see Blade of the Exile in your hand. And so that's kind of interesting. We can flip Riven without even actually casting any of the cards. And so let's go that route. I'm good enough to play against Tiana. If you're not familiar with her, when the foe attacks, they reduce the cost of their Tianas everywhere by 1. Fairly manageable. Okay, not a terrible start. Let's actually hang on to both of our 2-drops. And then if we're going to have 3s, I'd rather it just be Riven. And so I'll mulligan away everything that costs more than 2. Not a bad pickup, a 1-drop and a bit of interactivity. See where it takes us. Gotta remember this guy, though. The Vanguard Lookout. He makes the 2-cost cards so much worse. It's not so much that they're worse. It's just you can never stack a unit in your hand. But I guess at the end of the day, if we're going to have, say, like a 5-stat 2-drop to put +4 attack on, I would probably rather have a 1/4 that, you know, becomes a nice, well-rounded unit as opposed to, say, like a 4/1 that just becomes a massive overwhelm. And so it seems okay. It seems fine. Here, what fragment do we pick up? Not quick attack? Okay. The quick attack with these big boosted affectionate poros is quite good. A little awkward.
I'll try anyone once.
But I think we could still just slam a bunch of damage in. Does this give us a rally? 1 short, it's only 14 damage. Cupcake it. Let's see, here's a nice, the Death's Hand putting stats onto the Green Fang Wardens now, or the champion power, the Galio power giving the Green Fang Warden the boost. Makes it a little bit tougher on us. These bros just have Challenger the whole time? Did I miss out on that? Okay. You do you, I guess. That's pretty good. Just tore through our board. All right, well, what do we got? Just get one. Make sure we get 1 attack in real big. Dang, Tiana. F. All right, I mean, let's at least do this. If he wants to take a value hit onto the Lookout, we have the hook to take it down. We can drop this thing onto Guile. He'll probably come in and trade with our 9 attacker and take 8 damage. That's kind of brutal. Looks like we'll be taking a big Tiana hit today. Not real amped about that. Okay, we'll save our last 1 mana for this Grizzled Ranger. At least he's not coming in for a a scout attack. All right, and I guess we didn't take too much damage here. It could have definitely been worse. Probably should have just open attacked. All right, we're in this spot to where we can do a bloody business disintegrate to... Why can't we target that? Oh, I gotta pick my ally first. Dirt. Right, so we can do a disintegrate bloody business so the unit just dies, kind of like stunning it. So we get the full overwhelm damage in. All right, we're at 25. That's not too big of a damage. So what do we got? Anything cool? Again, I'm like not really interested in picking up spells. Like 1 mana Apprehend in a Darius deck is kind of interesting. But man, I just feel like at any point we have Darius down, we've probably already just won the game anyways. I'm kind of leaning towards this Wounded White Flame. We do have all of the Reforged cards in our deck, so we can reasonably make use of Fated. I think this will be a fine enough play. Don't really need the 3-drops, though, if we're going to be stacking up Rivens. And then we already have Iron Ballista, Thorn of the Rose, and Trifarian Assessor, and so it's a little much, but if we're not really looking to play our turn 2 play, maybe it's okay. I think I'm just leaning towards this stun. Let's picking Apprehend. It feels wrong. But what do we got here? The Black Spear. Summon a follower. That's not bad. Get an empty mana gem off the Thornblade. Not super interested in. Weapons of the Lost is okay, but let's take a couple rerolls and see if we can't find that Riven Sword or just find a really good item to add in. So far, don't want Boomerang Blades. Thornblade, don't want. Here we go. Blade of the Exile with Draw Champion attached to it. That sounds pretty good. Because, I mean, at least with the rally with Darius, it should be pretty easy for us to go into turn 6 with a mana. And then we can say it's like our opponent's attack token. We can just rally on turn 6 and then attack with Darius. It all seems reasonably well and strong. All right, I'm going to cut out the Death's Hand. It's a little scary coming into the Zoe round, taking Death's Hand out of your deck, but I feel like we have enough tools to deal with her. She can like pop off really fast, but we have the early challenger. We have a handful of stuns in here. I think we'll be okay. Get these vanguards booming on the first turn. I don't think we should open. Let's drop the Rune Weaver. Happy enough to come out and make some trades here early. Again, there's some times that you'll want to come out and just build up so that we can get the rally off of that attack, but I think we're fine.
I'll try anyone once.
So not gonna stun the Zoe here. We can pretty safely take one hit, and I think we should be able to Bloody Business her down next turn. See how quickly he starts popping off these spells, but I think it'll be safe. Disintegrate's kind of interesting, but let's go ahead and do this. How bad's it gonna be? We haven't played any spells yet, right? Man, he would have survived the Bloody Business, but he put the block in front of the Lookout. Okay. Alright. Getting that first Zoe dealt with is huge. I think we're fine now. Big boy Stellacorn coming in? Sure.
Let me show you what I can do.
Alright, do we have any decent blocks? Like, this one's fine. This one's okay. Take an 8-hit, sure. Now we should be good with our Darius. Hopefully he doesn't have any more paddle stars here, but if Darius gets to come down and attack, we should get like 3 rallies out of this turn, and hopefully that's enough. Oh, just exactly at 15. No, let's be real, that's a waste of a fragment. But I had in my head that that was a +2 attack fragment, and it just absolutely was not. Alright, Alright, so there's our first attack. I'm not super interested in just trading Darius for this Stellacorn when we're like so close to getting the win, so let's just save it for next turn. That'll at least give us the time to add Riven to the board, and she'll get all the bonus stats off of our Noxus ability, and maybe that'll get us close enough. It's looking a little scarier. I'm not amped about how this is turning out. Maybe we just wait another turn. It's such a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing, since they have so many tools to come out and grow. Come to the squad. Our blocks all around pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. Some of these are winners, but getting lethaled like this.
No looking back.
I mean, I'm not opposed to blocking like this, I guess. We take a bit of damage, but we get to preserve our overwhelm. Okay. And we can bring in Thorn of the Rose next turn. So it's like he gets to keep his Firebrand, but it doesn't have very much health. And then he just has 1 health there's remaining. Now, can we just win the game this turn? Let's be real. That's a potential outcome. I'm not sure. Opponent needs to be at 13 or less to get a flip, so Darius will flip this turn. Okay, let's go for it. Quick attack fragment be so good next turn. So we're coming in for 21. He's only going to prevent 3 of it. Okay. Neg 19. That was enough. Good job, squad. Good job. I knew you could do it. It was a little tense. It was a little close, but got there at the end of the day. All right, what turns up? So, like, I'm not opposed to adding in another copy of Darius to our deck, but I really would just want, like, 1. And it's, like, okay with Shadow Totem. Making the ephemeral copy, it essentially just says Darius strikes 2 units when he comes down, right? That Shadow Totem's going to generate a Darius, he's going to strike and then die because he's ephemeral. It's not that bad. It sounds better than like putting it on Riven. And so let's just load up the Darius, and then we'll just give a bunch of incidentals over to Riven for the remainder of the trial. All right, into the powers. Pretty weak. Given Ally Challenger can be quite good with our deck, so we can kind of like pick and choose the value attacks, right? We play like an 8-3 Overwhelm, and then we can challenge down our opponent's 2-power unit, but it's kind of weak overall. Let's just re-roll and maybe we'll come into something big. We didn't. I don't want to play Bouncing Blades. It's just a little bit too mana inefficient here. Let's just battle with the dragons. Maybe, maybe we'll get something out of it. And all right, further on down, the War Chefs. Let's double check what ability that is. I'm pretty sure I have them loaded up on the site. If you come across an ability I don't have on the site, please let me know. You can comment on the videos or let me know on Twitter, and that should hopefully get it back up here. But here, he either heals 50% of your maximum health, or you can add a healing balm to your deck with a random item. It sounds like something that should just be kind of healy. And so I think we want to just go for the item chest. The Arbiter of the Peaks. Game start, the foe summons Targon's Peak. All right. I get my Darius's down. Who wants to roll the dice, my friend? Targon's Peak. Oh my. Well, we're starting with a Darius. That feels pretty good. We should probably hang on to the Ballista as well. Like, we don't have a ton of stuff that costs more than 3 mana. And if we're going to be Targon's Peaking every turn, I want to maximize our chances of hitting something big. The fuck? Just capturing right from the get-go? Fuck you, dude. That's not cool. got? He cheapened up our ballista. Okay.
To serve greater good.
All right. Rip Riven. No, quit making that. No. I'm the one bringing the heat. Fine. We'll use that unit 2 turns from now. Fine. And the fangs? Sure. Sucks we don't have any real strong blockers for it. Good old Blade Squire out here making poop jokes. Ugh, I hope that was mud. I feel you, dog. Nobody wants to be getting poop on their feet. I hear you. Alright, let's just prevent the damage. We have a Disintegrate for this Eclipse Dragon, and so it's not too scary. We should be able to quick attack it down if we want with the Iron Ballista, the Disintegrate, and then the token. Do we want to just like immediately go for that? We're going to get a rally out of this attack. I think so. So where are you at? Quick attack. Put this onto our smaller challenger. Bring in a Disintegrate. And attack. Okay. Not a bad start. Not going to be able to lethal this turn, but making some goodies happen. Two Overwhelm fragments. I think I don't really want them. I'm just going to go ahead and play them, I think. So when our Targon's Peak activates next turn, it's not trying to zero attack one of these fragments. I want it to zero attack our Darius or something. And so let's just go ahead and bring the attacks in, spend all those fragments off, and then ideally, you know, Darius will be cheap next turn, and we'll get something big going with him. Here's the Apprehend. We got the full combo if we hit either Darius or the spell. Oh, we hit Darius. Learn from the master. Couple big strikes in here. Oh no, the spell shielded unit lived though. Help me out, fam. Can we stun our own unit with this thing? Well, we can do this, right? We can bloody business. Alright, that feels pretty good. I don't know how you feel about it, but I like it. Sacrificial Vanguard. That's more along the lines of what I had intended for this deck and those Vanguards, right? I wasn't really expecting them to get that bonus attack on the first turn, but plays like that as to where it comes down, it just blocks an Eclipse Dragon. It doesn't do a ton to really advance our goal, but if it comes down and prevents like 10 or 15 damage in a game, that's pretty huge. So feel pretty good with it. Summon a random champion of my cost with Elixir of Wrath. Sounds better than House Spiders. House Spiders kind of off theme with what we're trying to pull off here, and I don't like Hunt the Weak, so. Alright. Champion Chest. What are we getting for Riven? Quick Attack is probably the safer option compared to Fearsome. She's coming down big, right? She's coming down with 7 attack, and so I think I like the Quick Attack here. On to the shop. Our first one. Fast Deal as the power. Not ultra exciting. In terms of these cards, a pretty weak Calling Strike. Moonsilver is actually kind of interesting. As you can see, these games get to the end and we just have a bunch of cards in our hand, and so taking the card disadvantage off of Moonsilver is not that big of a deal. And then we do have the Trifarian Assessor that just has potential to draw a bunch of cards. I think I'm actually like really on point with this Moon Silver, even though card disadvantage isn't a ideal thing. And then I guess if we're going to pick up Moon Silvers, then picking up Fast Deal doesn't sound as bad either. If we're just having the chance to draw the extra card and draw the Moon Silvers and power off a little bit, I like it. Okay, so what are we moving on to? Down here we have an item chest. Up top we got a gold chest. I don't want the gold chest, and so is the remitter bad for us? When the foe kills their weakest ally, or round start, the foe kills their weakest ally to summon a random follower that costs 2 more. That is kind of tough for us because we don't interact well. Right, when you're playing against something like this, you really want them just to have an empty board. So when their turn starts, they don't have any units to sacrifice, and then they don't get to power up and get that mana going. But we'll risk it. We'll risk it for the biscuit, if you will. Hang on to 1 Riven and see if we can't find a challenger. Didn't find much. We can still drop this Riven on turn 1, but she won't have the bonus stats. Okay. Never clearing this board out.
Your fate was written.
Alright, we'll just throw away our Rune Weaver here. Let these vanguards grow. Become the biggest boys that they can. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get Riven down. Then we're going to Moon Silver this Elixir of Wrath. Oh, there aren't 0-cost champions, though. Right? What happens if you try to summon a 0-cost champion? I think we're okay. I don't think we have problems here. Let's I want to see what happens. It just probably does nothing, right? What a dumb game. Fuck you, Riot. Get your shit together. Alright. That's what I figured was going to happen. We could have sequenced that differently, so we Moon Silvered the Riven and then played the Elixir of Wrath afterwards, but call that a learning moment for you all. So if we play this now, the champion we'll get the bonus. Looks like it's Kennen. Kennen's a good one. Annie is the other one that should be coming up. Another good one in terms of being able to attack and be really strong with that overwhelm. Alright, let's just protect for the moment. Oh, cool, he's not attacking? I approve. Alright, and pretty good chance we can just end the game with Riven now. Quick attack. Overwhelm onto something. +2 attack we'll put onto Riven. Hopefully opponent's not going to be coming out and dropping some crumbles. Would not be ideal. Maybe we should spread this out just a little bit. Let's put the blade onto Kennen. And we can still put a +4 attack onto Riven with the blade fragment. All right. Not bad, not bad. This is where the Darius power starts to come in real strong, right? We're just going to win the game here anyways, neg 22 into 18, but we did generate the rally because we attacked with so much, and then having this just big collection of Kennen and Riven shit attacking multiple times is going to be enough to end it. Kind of interesting getting that rally attack with Kennen and being able to lightning rush stuff down. I just intended to lightning rush down his can't block unit, but if we're getting multiple attacks with him, he has some interesting plays he can do. All right, are we just gonna stack the elixir of wrath? I dig it. I think this is actually okay. We draw a bunch of cards now, so we can easily play all these cheap cards. And then if we're just going to be summoning Kennons and Ribbons and stuff, that feels quite strong. Oh boy, 50% chance to create a copy of Moonsilver. Fucking okay. That's what we're doing today. All right, let's cut a card. I usually like to just take out Bloody Business. I think our interactivity is going to be okay, right? We're coming up to the match where Bloody Business is kind of okay against Viego, just having a big strike to come in and take him down, but I think Disintegrate's going to carry that role just fine. So let's take out the Bloody Business onto Viego. So with the round start, the foe summons an ephemeral copy of the player's strongest follower that died in the last round. Okay, so what are we doing? Definitely hanging on to these Moonsilvers. I mean, we could technically just hang on to Darius and then see if we can't play him on, like, the second turn. Let's go for it. I mean, we're drawing a shitload of cards anyways. All right, the Assessor fits in with this theme as well. I'm on board. Oh my gosh, this is going to be awesome. Fucking strap in. Let's save the Elixir of Wrath for next turn. Man, we didn't double any of them? This game's stupid. we had 2 shots to do it. Neither hit. Fine. Hey, Riot, people are out here just trying to have fun. You're fucking it all up. Sure, glad to see the vengeance come down. Now, let's go ahead and lead with this elixir and try and pick up a Kennen or an Annie. Here comes Annie. And then next turn, we're good to drop Darius. Oh, interesting, interesting. The strikes happen before the Noxus bonus hits, and so we don't get to hit for 10, we only get to hit for 6. So we only got to take down that 1 unit. That kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. That was gonna be a lot more impressive if we got to attack and do stuff this turn, but I went to www.riotgames.com, went to the FAQ section and looked up, do you like to have fun? And it just said no. And so I guess that sums it up pretty well, huh? I guess it does. All right, let's lead in with this Moonsilver. What's the second thing on here? Grant your strongest ally a random common item. Okay. We miss again? God, we're so bad at coin flips.
The prettier the rose, the sharper the thorns.
Opponent does not want to get involved with our thorn. I don't blame you. Okay. Well, we're at least not looking bad here. Oh, the Darius. The Darius flipping to Decimate is not a particularly high-powered play. We aren't playing Constructed down here. F. Alright, well, let's lead off trying to take down Viego. That's safe. Teemo's safe. 4-3's safe. Everybody's safe. Okay. So that's going to get us a rally. Do we want to play a fragment? Do we want to play a quick attack or something? Yes. We want to quick attack our ballista. Now we still have the mana to apprehend after this. Okay. I think we're good. Uh-oh. And he didn't block with his encroaching mists, so we have an apprehend target. I'm not sure if this... Yeah, you see, there's some cards in the game, if you're not familiar with this, like if you have a targetable spell and you don't want to discard something. So say like, what's the 2-1 or like a Sump Dredger, right? The Sump Dredger says you can discard a card to draw a card. If you don't want to, you can just play the unit. So you like put it out here in the middle, and then you can just click on the right. But it looks like the apprehend has to have a target. So interesting. You can't just play it as a rally with Darius on the board. And I guess that makes sense with it needing to be a well, I mean, I guess technically you could just play apprehend with no target and no Darius for just a 2-mana do nothing, but maybe it's best if it doesn't do that. Maybe that's for the best. All right, booming on through, though. We're going to pick up Riven, and I guess we'll just pick up the +1/+1 Fury and a Dragon, give her double Fury. Double Dragon, double Fury. Everyone's favorite Nintendo game. Move on. Oh, and Trifarian Might, that's huge. Now, again, I'm pretty sure this works just like Darius does. I think it may or it may not. I don't entirely remember. If there's weird shit that happens in terms of Darius and Trifarian Might and the strike ability and the Noxus thing that gives bonus attack. We'll have to ping our friend Conanson on this one and see if he's run into all of this before. But I know some kind of weird shit happens with all of these interactions, and I think all of the strikes happen and then the bonus attack happens. But I don't know. We'll ping him once the video comes out. But taking the Trifarian Might, I could see an argument for the Frostbite, just because our deck is really high powered if we can hold off for the first couple of turns, but I think we're going to be fine. Let's take down this item chest to the right. So the Messenger, I don't think this is a problem. I haven't played this since Starbone got updated, right? Starbone got changed in the 3.13 patch to where you just have to behold a Celestial and you don't have to behold the Messenger. But let's see how bad it goes. All right, and a reasonable enough start. I think we can safely just get rid of Cridden. Well, let's actually hang on to the Disciple at this point. Right, it's like I'm trying to sequence this in my head, and I know our cheap plays come down on the first turn, so I don't want to play Riven or the Elixir on the first turn, but I want to play something, and so that something is, fine enough as a Crimson Disciple.
I'm watching you.
Oh boy. He's got it. I'm just gonna let this happen. Oh boy. Let's see how it goes. Oh my god, we hit quick attack. Learn from the master. I was intent on just getting the takedown here, but I mean, I planned it that way. The quick attack was gonna happen from the start. Rip him. Okay, we don't have to Moonsilver. This one's not fleeting. Wait till next turn. I assume next turn we're just going to be Moonsilvering Riven, but I think this is still fine. Free Moonsilver. Free Moonsilver. Makes up for those past turns a little bit. That's a giant fucking Riven, let's be real. Who do we get? Teemo? Everyone's favorite. We're just going to be open attacking next turn, and so let's just drop everything down. Put the Elixir. I guess we could have held the Poro back and Elixir to unit into play. It's not going to matter. Did the mathematics, and it does not matter. Giant Riven ready to come in. Go ahead and grab that rally while we're at it. You guys watch this bust. It's a hush. Not yet. Not yet. We win any of these? These quick attacks look like the ones we'll want to win. Okay, get boomed. Laser beam it, bro. Fallen Comet's pretty good. It's a little late, but it's by no means bad. Let's see, and this middle Vanguard Lookout doesn't have Overwhelm yet, so go ahead and add that to his repertoire. Right. Too bad we don't have any rallies at the moment, but I think we've got this one pretty well locked down. Oh, get him with the Teemos. Make him draw some cards.
One star's whipsy is another spark. The past is a burden we must learn to bear.
It's not bad dropping a 14-7 Riven with doing no work. It's not bad.
I write the rules of power.
Alright, I think we're okay. Opponent's probably done doing stuff by now. Oh, he is in the mood to attack. Okay.
Not on my watch. Won't pass these walls.
He says, well, I'm going to help my future friends. I'm going to get 3 points of damage in before the turn is done. I may be losing the battle, but we'll try to win the war. Alright, so everything already has Overwhelm. Oh, cool. Teemo just aces them. Yeah, that's probably where you drop the Renekton emote. I feel you.
Way forward.
Okay, don't want Decimates. It's just garbage. Summon a follower with my cost of my regions feels so bad with Apprehend, but I don't feel like we really want Wild Claws in this deck, so we'll stack in another Apprehend. Okay, on to the item chest. Anything interesting here? Not really. These are all pretty weak. We'll just pick up additional copies of Disintegrate. The champion chest or the shop. We have a ton of gold. Let's head up to the shop. So the power is Grit. Allies have attack. Grow my power to match my health. That's going to do literal nothing in our deck. See if there's any cool spells in here. I'm not opposed to Siphoning Strikes for 3 mana. That's pretty good with the kind of aggro nature of our deck. The Black Rose Spy with Round Start Mana Gem is pretty good. What else do we have down here? The Scuttlegeister Firing and Protege, not that exciting. Let's just pick up a little bit of interactivity here. There's nothing wrong with this. This style of Siphoning Strike. It's cheap enough to be interesting. It's quite good on both our Riven and our Darius. Let's pick up 1 copy of Dawning Shadow just to have a big removal spell. And I have a tough time passing on a Round Start Mana Gem, but I think we'll be okay. So, all right, do we want to do battle against the Dawn Speakers, or do we want to do battle against the Evershade Stalker? And I typically like to push away from Evershade Stalker with these decks like Darius, just because our early game is so bad, and they tend to go wide and flood the board super fast. I think we could be okay with Dawn Speakers. Like starting the game off with double Dawn Seekers plus a 2-drop is probably enough to shut it down, but I think our deck is just like functionally better against the Dawn Speakers, because we can kind of go toe-to-toe with their stats. So we'll go and do battle here. I'm ready. All right, I think we hang on to Elixir of Wrath and just like maul in for power. Because this does feel like a deck where I'm pretty okay without playing a card on the first turn. Holy shit, he just comes down and strikes the Dawn Speakers. I did not realize that was going to be a play. Wow. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and get a Thorn of the Rose down. See if we can't come in and just block some of this stuff. We high rolled on the Moonsilver. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Our 5 attack units just come in and start striking shit. Oh man. Fuck off, Dawn Speakers. You just got smoked this game. Alright, now here is the test, right? I don't think Iron Ballista gets to strike. Right, it gets the bonus. Oh, I guess you got to strike. I don't know. I don't know how the game works anymore. Can we just lethal here? This is probably the way to go about it. Here we go. Let's cheapen up the Guile, shut down his unit. Are we attacking for 20 yet? 9 and 9's 18. Yeah, okay. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. What a joke. What a joke, Dawn Speakers. Just our unit immediately coming in and smoking one of them. That was sick. Alright, well, we're not going to heal. We can come up here. We got one more thing. Pickaxe onto the Assessor is very good. Now it can get those strikes even without the faction bonus. What are we cutting? Something expensive. I want to hang on to the Assessor now. Crimson Disciples are weak. I think I'd rather keep the Disciple because it has 3 health. More so than Legion Grenadiers. Want to keep our Challenger bros. Okay. That sounds good. Up to Galio. So which version is this? Galio's pick on someone their own size when the foe's allies have 20 power. That's the Galio ability, and then round start, the foe summons a Rockfall Path if they don't have one. Gotcha. All right, on to battle. This one attack veteran Dawn Guard, whatever it's called, is gonna be coming in here and putting in the work, protecting our team. All right, you got to play Petricite Hound. All right, well we're incentivized to try and add units now. Picked up the Moonsilver. Fucking wreck them.
Earned the right to call themselves Trifarian.
Are you having fun? Are you enjoying this, opponent? Oh, what a joke. All right. It's tempting to try and Moonsilver down Darius a whole bunch, but I feel like that's a little greedy. Just a touch on the greedy end. All right, are we getting free Riven? Okay, it stops at 3. Hey, dude, get wrecked. Are we strong enough to take down Malphite? We're close. We're close. How much stuff can we... Well, we can attack and look to just disintegrate. I guess that's a thing. I wanted it to be cooler than that. Rock doesn't win this time, dude. I'm sorry. Alright, 1 mana left. Don't think we need to play anything. Cruising right along. Here goes the Sacrificial Vanguard. Look out. I feel you, dog. You tried. You tried. It wasn't good enough today, but, you know. Best effort or something. It's like I don't even want to add the Crimson Disciple. We can add something bigger that'll just strike down the Mountain Drake. Okay.
The prettier the rose, the sharper the thorns.
Wish we had like one more fragment so we could play a slow spell is what I would like to do. But I still want to get the strike out of it. All right, well, I guess we can come in for 34. It's a pretty decent start. Get ourselves that rally. Then we should just be able to kill whatever he plays or get a stun in. This one's, it seems pretty close to done. Iron Ballista. Oh, it's a Crimson Disciple. I was looking to see if we had a Rune Weaver type unit. We don't. Are we lethal yet? Alright, neg 33. We did it. So, man, we really got rolling there once we got through that beginning phase to where you can run into some trouble with Zoe and hit it pretty hard. And so, not bad. Not bad. I think that was a pretty good primer on playing Darius against Galio and late stage Darius just kind of in general. And that your deck's bad, right? Your cards are pretty terrible. You don't want to play Bloody Business or all these other, generic-y kind of bad things. But your abilities are all quite good. That +4 attack thing is exceptionally powerful. And then once you kind of get in your head that, the quality of your units doesn't matter so much as much as it is just getting good ones or getting something onto the board, you can kind of let that 4-power thing carry you. And it does really help to pick up good interactive spells, right? Things like Death's Hand and Bloody Business aren't good interactive spells. Disintegrate is, right? Disintegrate is a fantastic interactive spell. And that really lets us kind of like mold and shape our deck and get something good together. And I feel like that's what we did here. We're kind of like, okay, we got Disintegrates, we got Rivens, that gives us quick attacks. We can generate these big quick attack overwhelms to build up the big board, and that big board lets us use the Darius rally ability. And so I feel like this came together pretty well. It wasn't over the top, like big bruisery kind of highlight reel run, but it was a pretty straightforward and easy win throughout the way, and I think we were able to tackle Darius' strategy pretty well. And so, that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the video, maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.